Doing my taxes.
Grunkle Stan, why did you write this?
Because I regularly commit massive tax fraud.
Might wanna tuck that one away there.
Hey guys, welcome to my Spring Anime 2019 impressions. Now before we get started, I just want to do a quick summary of the last season, all the things I enjoyed while I finished. Aside from continuing with JoJo Part 5, the only shows I actually completed last season were The Promised Neverland, which was super good, of course, Kaguya-sama Love is War, which I didn't talk about in my winter impressions video because I hadn't really heard about it, but so many people started talking about it that I checked it out and I ended up absolutely loving it. Such a good series, one of the best comedy anime I've ever seen. And of course you have Mob Psycho 100 Season 2, which was so good that unless Vinland Saga ends up being an amazing adaptation, I don't think anyone's going to top it this year. I'd go as far to say Mob Psycho 100 is now one of the best anime I've ever seen. Cause goddamn was it a masterpiece. So yeah, anime peaked pretty early this year. What do we got going on now in the spring? Well, thankfully, A1 Pictures decided, yo, how about we take a break from this SAO shit? You know, let's not do 4 cores in a row. How about that? So we're thankfully freed from Sword Art Online for at least a little bit. Boruto passed its 100th episode. Yeah, good job for Boruto. I keep hearing it gets good at episode 97, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to bother with that one. Black Clover's still going on. I'm actually curious. To anyone crazy enough to watch the Black Clover anime, like, how close are they to catching up with the manga? Because the manga isn't that long. Like, have they just been stretching it out, or are they going fast-paced, almost about to catch up? I'm kind of curious. I'm pretty sure this is Fairy Tail's last core. Thank God, am I right? I don't actually know, but I watched the preview. It caused me some major PTSD, but it looked like they were wrapping things up. Yeah, that's all the garbage. Well, what am I actually watching this season? Well, of course you have JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I've continued watching this ever since it started. And it's been a very, very strong adaptation of Part 5. Not really much to say, although things are picking up significantly now. We're getting into the final parts of Golden Wind, and oh man, I can't wait to see some of it. And of course Attack on Titan is starting next week. I wanted to wait on this video until it aired, but I'm going out of town for a few days. I just wanted to get this video out, and I mean, I'm sure Attack on Titan's going to be great anyway. So yeah, I'll just talk a bit more about it in the summer video. Alright, so next up we have, of course, Demon Slayer. This is the big one this season. The one that's topping all of the normie charts. The one everyone's talking about. And as you may know, I checked out the Demon Slayer manga not too long ago, and I wasn't too big on it. But I decided to give the anime a chance, because I've been hearing for a while that the production value on it is probably going to be stupendous, and I was like, alright, show me what you got, and oh boy did they ever. Everything about the presentation of this show is fantastic. The art style is wonderful. It looks way better than the manga in my opinion. Backgrounds look amazing. All the CGI blends extremely well. The character animation is fantastic, super high quality. And of course the opening song is a complete bop. I love it to death. But I hate to say it, I'm still not feeling this story at all. It sucks because the show looks so good. I want to love this show so much. But every time they start talking, it's like, oh, I gotta do all this training. I gotta take the hunter exam. I gotta save my sister, become a demon slayer. I gotta cut the rock in two. Not only is it stuff I've seen before, but it's just presented in such a uninteresting way. I get so bored watching this show. It takes me forever to get through an episode. The only thing not making it a waste of time for me is that every couple minutes I go like, holy shit, that shot looks absolutely stunning. So I am happy I'm watching it just for the production value, but it's still really failing to grab me as a story. Now, a lot of people keep telling me it gets better. You know, I don't really like that mentality. I think it should be good from the start, but I am going to keep watching it. It's going to be running for 2 cores. So if the story does get better, then I will welcome it with open arms. But as of right now, I'm only really watching it for the sexy animation. But of course, Demon Slayer was not the only Shonen Jump series to get an adaptation this season, as of course, we Never Learn. Now, like I've said many times before, We Never Learn is hot trash, right? But it's enjoyable trash. It's like junk food. It's a big guilty pleasure of mine. I've gone on to read the entire manga, all 100 plus chapters, Yikes. But I just have a great time with it. You know, I like the characters. I want to see them get into good schools, man. It's extremely stupid. All the scenarios never make any sense. They always go out of the way to show some side boob. Yeah, a bit of a guilty pleasure, but I enjoy it. And this anime adaptation is exactly what I would expect. It's pretty much the same as the manga. If you like this sort of show, these high school comedies with ecchi shit, I definitely recommend checking it out. If not, this series probably isn't for you at all, but I enjoy it, and I do appreciate how it comes out at the same time as Demon Slayer, so after I'm done slogging through that, I can just, you know, chill out and while watch some We Never Learn. Next up is Fruits Basket. Now, Fruits Basket is, I think, 20 years old now at this point, the original manga. Very, very popular, one of the most popular shoujo series ever, so I'd obviously heard about it, but I didn't really know anything about it going into this new adaptation. For those who don't know, it got an anime adaptation way, way back in the day, almost 20 years ago, but of course it was the usual thing where the manga wasn't finished, so they had a lot of filler, didn't have a proper ending. So many, many years later, they were like, hey, let's just redo the whole thing. So here we have a new Fruits Basket. And I'm like, hey, this looks cool. I'll watch it without knowing anything about the plot. And I'm very glad I did, because I ended up absolutely loving it. You have this girl, Toru, who's living in the tent in the woods, and then she meets these guys who are like, hey, come live with us. And she's like, oh, okay. And then they can all turn into furries, like they're all animals, and then they all fall in love with each other. It's great. I fucking love it. And I really, really like the updated art style, because you compare it to the original manga and the original anime, and goddamn, this is an update. The mangaka is supervising this adaptation, and she actually told them, like, listen, my old art is uggo, just make something new out of it, and I think it worked really, really well. They're calling this the first season, so I don't really know how long this adaptation is going to run for. I don't know if it's going to be on break every other season, I don't know if they're just doing the full thing at once, and I don't know how long it's going to be, but I will definitely be there for the entire ride. In fact, I like these first few episodes so much, and spoilers for my next pickups video, but I actually went out and I bought the manga. Which is also amazing, so alright, Fruits Basket. Okay, now here comes the inevitable one that I did not want to talk about. So One Punch Man Season 1 was kind of a phenomenon. It like blew up like nothing else, like Attack on Titan levels at the time. And the production of it was so, I don't know, lucky. Just like everything fell into place for it to have some of the best animation in modern anime. It's so goddamn good. And because of that, it was always clear that whenever it came back, it might not reach the heights of Season 1, but you know, people still had hope that they could do a proper adaptation, continue the manga, and it would all be fine. But we got kind of uneasy, because at one point, maybe about a year ago, it was announced that One Punch Man would be changing studios from Madhouse to JC Staff. Now, not the end of the world, but the thing that concerned people was that JC Staff isn't really known for action anime. And as you know, One Punch Man is like 10% comedy, 90% action. And it's not just like your normal generic action you would see. It's like balls to the wall, fucking insane, massive scale, everyone with these crazy powers. Like, it's One Punch Man. It's absolutely ridiculous. And people were concerned, were like, yeah, you're handing it to this studio who barely does any action anime? That seems kind of weird. But, you know, of course, if you have a decent schedule, some good talent behind it, I'm sure they can work some magic and make it wonderful. Spoilers, they didn't. It's here, and it looks ass. The one saving grace of One Punch Man Season 2 is that, of course, it's still One Punch Man. Like, the story, the dialogue, the jokes, it's all there, and it's all pretty good. You know, when I'm just seeing Saitama and King playing video games, and Blizzard looking at them like, yo, what the fuck? It's hilarious. I enjoy it. It's good shit. But all of the action we have seen so far has just been terrible. The direction of the fights in particular is pretty bad. There's a lot of horribly blended CGI. Gino's got his CGI arm out. That looks ugly as shit. I'm so worried because, like, we're barely getting started here and they're already having major production issues. And we've been hearing for a while that, like, they're falling apart. Like eventually this adaptation is going to crash and burn. I'm pretty sure we've already seen the best that they have to offer for this. I see a lot of people coming to the defense of One Punch Man Season 2, saying they didn't have as big a budget as the first season. That's some bullshit. Gonna nip that in the bud right here. While the budget for something is important, you need money, it don't mean shit if your production schedule is terrible. And according to everything we've seen for this show, it is. It's completely terrible. Apparently they only had like 3 episodes finished when episode 1 aired. That's awful. I don't blame JC staff at all. I don't blame any of the animators behind it. I'm sure a lot of them are very, very talented and they're passionate about adapting One Punch Man. But it just feels like this was just rushed out. Like all the corporate people are like, we need to get One Punch Man Season 2 out before it loses popularity, before we lose sales. Oh look, here's JC staff. They have an opening for spring 2019. Let's get it out right now. And they're like, hold on, we don't have any time to make this. What are you crazy? Now they're making it, and it's very underwhelming. Like I said, it's not a complete lost cause, because it's still One Punch Man, and One Punch Man is good. But I'm worried, I'm so worried for the future of this season, man. Holy shit. Like, I recently reread the manga, and some of the stuff in it, I'm like, there is absolutely no way they're going to be able to do this properly. Oh man, it sucks. So yeah, that's my long tirade about One Punch Man Season 2. Oh god. So yeah, those were all the shows I was planning on watching this season. And I mean, it was alright. Some underwhelming stuff. The only thing I really loved was a 20-year-old series. But then I came across a little show that I'd never heard about prior to it coming out. And I have to say, it kind of changed my life. That's right, Saras and I don't know if I said that right, but whatever. It's from a very famous director who admittedly I've never seen any of his shows before, but if this is anything to go by, I should really get on that. This show is wild. It has so much energy. The plot is completely ridiculous, but I love every minute of it. Essentially, it's about these 3 boys who meet a kappa, which is, you know, the Japanese river monster thing. It extracts this organ from their anus, and then they turn into kappas themselves, and if they want to turn back into human, they have to fight these zombies. And then they beat them by singing, like they have musical numbers. Like they have action scene musical numbers. I don't know. It's so good. It's so goddamn good. The animation is ridiculous. It's easily the best looking show of the season, even compared to Demon Slayer, because I think that show looks stupid beautiful. But this has just so much energy and so much movement. It's everything I love about animation. It takes full advantage of the medium, and I cannot wait to watch more. So goddamn good. Easily my favorite show of the season so far. And I'm really shocked that this isn't more popular. So I really urge you guys to go check it out if you haven't already. So that about does it for this season of anime. There's always a chance I missed something, like how I missed Kaguya-sama last season. So if there's anything else that you think I'd really like, please leave it down below. And with that, well, once I get back from my trip, I will see you guys soon for the Q&A video, which, holy shit, there's a lot of questions to go through.